Charlie and Lewis, Stranger Things, Season 2, Episode 1, Take 1. First show we gonna tackle one of our favorite shows, came out last year, Stranger Things. Yep.
I'm Lewis.
Your boy Charlie right here.
We're gonna try to be doing weekly recaps on shows, kind of a little review of them. So we're gonna start off on season 2 since that's what's out right now. Mm-hmm. We may go back and do some review episodes of season 1.
We will have to.
We will,
because season 1 does a lot of foreshadowing into season 2. So we will have to go back and do a little recap. But right now, let's kick it up into season 2, episode 1. What you got for us, Plant?
All right, man. So episode 1, or chapter 1, as they like to call it, Madmax. First episode called Madmax, right? Mm-hmm. Written and directed by the Duffer Brothers. So they get in on recording and directing every now and then. So they directed this episode. This episode, just to recap it without spoiling things, basically lets you know where everyone's at from season 1. Yeah. You find out where Joyce is at, where Hopper's been, what Elle's doing, what the 4 kids, happening. Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin, Steve, Jonathan, and Nancy for the most part. That's our ensemble cast right there. So right now though, we're going to start getting into the actual recap of the show. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to be spoiled, then turn away. But it's a good ride.
It's a good ride if you want to know what's going on. So season 2, episode 1 starts off, kind of threw some people off. It didn't throw me off. I know I clicked on Stranger Things. I knew that's what I clicked on. But Lewis said, what happened to you when you watched it? So
I started watching it, and I see some random 4 people busting out of some kind of robbery wearing masks. And for a hot minute, I stopped my Netflix, and I restarted it. I thought I had hit the wrong show. So I was like, what the hell am I watching? This has absolutely nothing to do with what I was watching.
But if you keep watching, something very interesting happens. We meet a new player.
Yep. I think we first learn her to be part of the show based on a little tattoo we see on her little wrist. About 10 minutes into the scene. Yeah. Some people think it says DOB, but it's 008. Yeah. And it's right there that you finally realize, oh crap, I am watching Stranger Things. Mm-hmm.
I mean, season 2, episode 1 starts off with a bank robbery.
Yep.
Is it a bank robbery?
Yeah, I think it was like a bank heist. Yeah.
Like a heist or something. So we meet these new characters, these new players, and they're running into their vehicle, and then they start running down the streets. Cops are chasing them.
Yeah, you know how on shows the cops get there just as the people are leaving. For some reason, the cops just stay there and don't follow that speeding off van. Well, in this show, they do it right. They're like, no, I'm gonna follow that weird, suspicious van. The people in the van are freaking out, except for the one passenger, who we later find out her name is Callie. So we'll name drop her right now. And then Callie, like I said, they introduce us to her being part of the experiment with the tattoo on her wrist. And she tells the driver, go ahead and go to the such and such tunnel. Mm-hmm. And they go out to the tunnel. Once they go right underneath the tunnel, she just goes in her mind, she closes her eyes and goes, boom. And when she goes boom, the whole tunnel collapses. So you just freaked out. You're like, oh man, this girl just destroyed half the
destroyed half the tunnel.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, it dropped down, but we get one of the cops, the cop that was driving his passenger, starts yelling at him, telling him, why did you stop? Why did you stop?
And then the camera pulls right back to the tunnel. We realize she never blew up anything, but somehow this dude thought she did, so she messed with his mind.
Yep, it was all in his head. After this scene, we move on to where you want to go with this. I got the arcade on my notes.
Yeah, that's So like I had put, we go back to Hawkins to figure out what the kids are doing. So they are typical 80s kids at the arcade.
At the arcade. Now, who are the kids again? We got to let them know. Dustin.
So we got Dustin. He's the I wanted to say the nerd of the group, but I guess they're all.
He's the bookworm.
He's the bookworm. To me, he's really like the smart one of the group. Like he has
out of a bunch of smart kids.
Right? Yeah. He's the smartest. Like he notices patterns and things that other people didn't notice or acknowledge. So he definitely has a weird way of looking at the world. Then we got Lucas. Lucas is kind of like the group's acquisitions officer.
Yeah, right. He always good gadgets.
Yeah. So it starts in this episode. They're all scrounging around for we don't know what at first, but it turns out they're looking for quarters before they head over to the arcade.
Yeah.
And
Lucas was the one who went and worked for Old Man Who? I can't remember the old
man. Some old man, he mowed lawns, and so he got the most money. So like he acquired the most amount of money to go play arcade. Everyone else only had like 4 or 5 quarters. Dude had like $12 worth of quarters.
Yeah, he had enough from mowing lawns. We're going to Mike.
Yeah, Mike. We see is he's still kind of reeling from the loss of 11.
Yeah.
We see him at his house.
Up,
yeah, he's still shook. But the thing that caught my eye when you first see him and he's at his house is he's still got that makeshift bed that he created for 11, that little tent.
Still hiding in it, underneath it.
Yeah, he still apparently goes in there and tries to get a hold of 11 every now and then. Yeah. So they go to the arcade and
they learn. This is why the episode is called Madmax, right? Because they learned that on one of their games, let me see if
Dig Dug.
Dig Dug.
You ever played Dig Dug? No?
No.
So
I know nothing about this game.
Dig Dug, you're basically on a map, and there's these 4 little creatures in the dirt, and you have to kind of dig up all the dirt. That's all your character does is dig.
Yeah. And then this one, the game that they were playing when they found out about Mad Max was Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Now that one I've seen, but I never played it. So.
I lost many a quarters to that game.
Yeah.
They find out that there's someone who's starting their names up on the leaderboard, and I don't know if you guys ever spent time at an arcade, but getting your name on that leaderboard is kind of like that was how you got recognition. That's how you got props.
Yeah. It's like the social media of today.
Yeah. You would go and
the fans, the likes, or whatever.
The game would rotate through its intro screen, and then it would just show you the top 10 players out that game, and you wanted your initials to be up there. Mm-hmm. What was interesting to me is I only ever got to put 3 initials, and somehow she was able to put Mad Max. I don't know.
Hey, man, the boys found out that their record husband be the little attendant guy. He won't tell them. You know,
he's a bit of a creeper.
Yeah, he wants a date with Mike's sister,
Nancy.
Like it's just not gonna happen.
No.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Nancy's already got 2 brothers trying to hook up with her. She's got Jonathan and she's got Steve, so she don't need this
random guy.
Yeah.
She ain't got time.
Plus he's eating Cheetos. It's like, hook me over your sister. Hook me over your sister.
Dustin roasts him, actually.
Yeah.
Dustin gets out. But something interesting happened at the arcade as well. We meet Will, who
we didn't get to see much of in season 1. I think he was in like 3 or 4 scenes in season 1 because he was the dude that was missing.
He got lost. Yeah. So in this episode, we have our first encounter. Will has his first encounter with going back to the Upside Down, and it's pretty scary to him, right?
Yeah, because we're still thinking off of season 1. We know that he's having visions. We know that he was coughing up some weird phlegm slugs. Yeah. At this point, I was thinking that maybe all of Hawkins was in the Upside Down, and Will was the only cat who could see it. So that was my prediction at this point of watching the TV show. I was thinking that he was the only one actually seeing what was happening. Yeah. But he snaps out of it, and he's got Mike going like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? You okay?"
Just need to come outside for a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. He plays it off because he's not telling anybody what's going on. He's trying to keep it to himself because he thinks inside he's just going nuts.
Yeah. And while he's in the Upside Down, it is Hawkins. He walks out of the arcade, and when he looks around, it looks like a nuclear bomb had just been dropped off. And I mean, it's devastation all around. So he pretty much confused.
Yeah, there's a red sky in the background, like way far in the background. There's lightning going off.
Moving on, Officer Hopper and Murray, the investigative journalist.
Ah, yes. So we meet this new, what I like to call, some of the characters I'm going to rename. This dude, we're going to call him X-Files. Because he's basically...
a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist. He's exactly like Mulder and Scully mixed together into one dude.
Yeah, he has this theory of this Russian girl running around that's very dangerous. And he's telling Hopper this, and Hopper's just basically blowing him off. Brings up Barb's missing.
Yep, Barb missing. And so then the Hopper goes, oh, you think a Russian girl did that? Let me tell you the other story that people were saying. It was a monster bear. And basically
just blowing it off.
Yeah, making him feel like a fool. Like, let me tell you this other stupid fairy tale. Yeah. So,
but
this dude, he's like so close to solving it. But he's just like a hair off because for some reason he has a hard on for the Russians and he wants to blame everything on Russia.
On the Russians. On the Russians, like, you know, I mean, it sounds like...
It was the 80s.
Don't leave that alone.
It was the 80s.
It almost sounds like 2017. Yes, it does. It almost sounds like 2017.
Woo!
But anyway,
the world hasn't changed much.
So Harper gets a call from his secretary to go visit Meryl's pumpkin farm. Something crazy has happened over there. We go to Meryl's pumpkin farm. He's blaming it on his neighbor, but when we go out there, we see all the pumpkin patch is rotted, like it's devastated, it's destroyed, and we don't know what caused it. The Meryl, he's trying to blame it on his neighbor.
Yeah, Meryl is a white farmer who's trying to blame it on his black farmer.
His black farmer, I got it written down, Eugene.
Yeah,
trying to
blame Eugene's doing it.
I mean, and then the funny thing is, like later on, Eugene comes to Harper and tells him that Meryl destroyed his pumpkin patch, and you know they both land into him. But then Harper, he sees something, he notices something. Notice that all of the pumpkin patches in that area have been devastated and destroyed, you know, rotted out. So now he's got to do some type of weird investigation.
And you have to admit it though, like, why would these farmers think, oh, I know what it is. A monster from another dimension is trying to come over and kill all my pumpkins. Mm-hmm. That seems so much more far-fetched than freaking Eugene from across the street is killing my pumpkins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, apparently the pumpkin industry in Hawkins is a real huge business, and they fight each other for pumpkin business.
For pumpkin business. You got all of these.
They're like pumpkin cartels.
But this is the season for pumpkin. Like if they have Starbucks back in the day, like,
that's true.
Pumpkin spice everything. You feel me? Like.
There is one more thing that happens in this first episode, which is we get to meet Billy.
Yeah.
Now, from here on out, in every review, we're gonna call Billy Human Shrek. Human Shrek.
Anything else that you want to touch on?
Yeah, so not only is that dude, the reporter, the X-Files guy...
going back to Murray?
No, not him, but he's not the only one obsessed with Barb's disappearance. Nancy, we find out, and Steve are still dealing with her loss as well.
Yeah, I forgot I didn't talk about that.
Yeah, cool. But Nancy feels like they are somehow dishonoring her memory by not telling the truth.
They have a dinner with the parents of Barb, and the mom, they go home, they go to the house. As they're walking up, they see a for sale sign in the driveway. They don't know what the for sale sign is. It was a for sale sign. Right?
Yep.
They go into the house, they're having KFC for dinner. Yeah. I mean,
finger looking good.
Finger looking good, you know, do what you got to do. But the mom says she wanted to make them, you know, a meal that they normally, you know, eat and like together, but she just didn't have time. They hired a private investigator. The father's really excited about this guy because he thinks he's going to get something done more so than what Hopper has got done to find their daughter. Yeah, they still hold down hope.
Yeah, they think Hopper is in on the cover-up, which it kind of is.
Yeah, kind of.
And they feel like Hopper hasn't provided them with any actual answers or any conclusion about what happened to their daughter. Mm-hmm. So they're still in mourning, but they want to be able to bury Barb, and they ain't got nobody.
They want some closure.
They want closure. That's what they want. Nancy knows what happened to her and wants to give them that closure so that they don't keep, like, basically, Nancy's noticing that people are taking advantage of these two parents who are, like, nothing else. They're paying psychics to try to talk to Barb. They're paying, like, PIs to private investigators to try to figure out what happened to her. And Nancy feels like, I can make this pain stop for them by telling them. But my thing is, what are you going to tell them, Nancy?
There's nothing she can do.
Your daughter was sucked down into an interdimensional portal where she was in the upside down and a tentacle monster went in her mouth and then it killed her. Like, how is that going to make things better?
I mean, it's not going to make anything better.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. You have your closure, get your house back.
I mean, they hired Murray, of course. I mean, so that's the one who's doing the investigating. The father's happy about it. He's excited. Nancy actually goes to the bathroom and breaks down. And in the bathroom, you can see her developing a plan.
Yep.
That she needs to do something to help this family get closure with their daughter. So.
Oh, we got one last part, which is that we see Hopper go home after having spent all day with Will and Joyce at the hospital. Goes deep into the woods, right? And so we all saw the trailer in the episode in the season 1. He wasn't a big fan of it, especially when he found out they were tapping they had like bugs planted in his house. So he's now living like a hermit in the woods. And
he has a special guest.
Yeah. He has a weird knock, first of all.
Well, he has to step over a tripwire.
Yeah. So he's got tripwire. So definitely no one's bugging this place as far as he's concerned. Tripwire, special knock, and after he does his special knock, does he have to say like a special phrase too?
Something he has to say.
I don't know. He has this big regimen that he goes through before he can get into his door, but we finally see him go through the door, and there's a girl sitting on his couch, and we see it's 11 with maybe aliens, Sigourney Weaver hair, and she's watching some old movie on TV, and he apologizes for being late.
And they have Eggos.
Yep.
Eggos for dinner. It's Elle's favorite.
Yep. So that wraps up episode 1.
All right. Boom.
So
these are your boys coming at you. We'll be at you next week with another one. Season 2, episode 2. Be on the lookout for it. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think of this. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you want to hear.
Any suggestions?
Anything we could be doing better.
Any movies or shows you want us to review after we're done with season 2 and then season 1 of Stranger Things?
We'll just do it. We'll just do it because that's what we like to do. Peace.